Hi, this is Julie Thompson reporting from IAB's Innovation Days at Internet Week New York. I'm here with Josh Quittner, Editorial Director for Flipboard. Hi, Josh.
Hi, nice to see you.
Can you tell us about the social mobile magazine you guys have created?
Well, we have over 70 partners. Some of the greatest magazines in the world are lined up, and many newspapers too. And we're continuing to drive that and add more people to our roster. We have many users. It's very exciting, and we're just going to keep plugging away, trying to create a great experience for people.
Yeah, it seems you described it as your dream job, which we thought you all had your dream job before when you were editorial director for Time Digital. Tell us why Flipboard is your dream job now.
Well, our dreams change every night. I mean, we don't have the same dream. But Flipboard, for years I worked for media companies that were increasingly becoming tech companies, whether they knew it or not. And I started to harbor this desire to work for a tech company that wanted to be a media company. I thought it would be a much more efficient way of doing the kind of work that I wanted to do.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so interesting because you're curating content in this magazine format, and beautifully done, that is being picked up on these different devices. How does it affect your editorial decisions, being mobile, essentially?
Well, my editorial decisions really just run to programming certain channels that help point out our member content, our partner content. We program a news channel and a sports channel and a business channel and so on. And those are mishmashes, collections of partner content and other content. So what we try and think about is when people are using Flipboard during the day, they're looking for quick snacking. They're looking for fast stuff because they're on their feet and they're on the move. But at night, they use their tablets, they use their iPads, and so they are much more tolerant and in fact looking for longer reads, so we tend to throw bigger things in at night.
It is so interesting how marketers and brands and editorial directors all have to consider how people are consuming content, when and where. I think it's fascinating. Is there a tip you can offer to our audience in that regard?
Your audience, you mean, is there a tip I can offer publishers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say lead with your punchy stuff during the day and put your long form, leisurely stuff out at night.
Mm-hmm. We found what you were saying from the stage, like people love to read, and just reminding us of that, that's not going away. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I think that video happens to be really great for certain kinds of information and entertainment especially. Video really gives you the ability to get lost in a world of somebody else's creation. The power of print, however, is twofold. One is there's no better way to really learn something like news, information that you really need to use. You have to be able to read it because you want to go back and reread it. You know, some things just don't sink in right away, so the ability to go back and forth helps to reinforce an idea, and that happens to be very important for serious long-form stuff. I think, though, that for entertaining things like books, reading is, in some respects, more powerful because you're creating the world. Your brain is doing the work, and so I just don't believe reading ever goes away.
And we love that Flipboard is paginated, and I loved what you said about the endless scroll. Mm-hmm. I think, how important is that pagination to Flipboard?
It's really important because we find that users are way more engaged with pages than they are with scrolls. We know that industry-wide, people spend less than 2 minutes during an average website visit, right? Because there's everything about the web and that endless scroll and blinking ads and hypertext and links that are promising you that if you tap on me, I'm way more interesting than what you're looking at now, just demands that you leave. So most people spend fewer than 2 minutes on the average website. On tablets, we see that 8 to 10 times, they're spending 8 to 10 times the session time on the tablet because it's much more lean back, much more engaging an experience.
Yeah. So Flipboard's business proposition is predicated on selling your partners selling advertising. But you talked about this magazine within a magazine concept. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we're really excited. We started a new ad, we unveiled a new ad unit last week called Brand Mags, and what it does is it gives our advertising partners the ability to take their Twitter feeds or their Facebook feeds or their RSS feeds and program them on a moment-by-moment basis with whatever content they want, so they can create a magazine, in effect, around their brand.
Cool. So we're celebrating kind of an anniversary for you, actually, probably 2 years ago today, perhaps, or at least the month of April 2010. Josh launched Time Magazine on the iPad. You timed it to the tablets release.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was April 3rd. I remember that not because of that date, but because it's my oldest daughter's birthday.
Okay.
But that was
Priorities.
That was when the iPad launched, and Time Magazine was on it. Yep.
Yeah, and then you expanded. You did the tablet versions for Sports Illustrated and Fortune. In those 2 short years, what's the biggest lesson you've learned that would be helpful for marketers and publishers?
One thing I've learned, and the main reason I went to Flipboard, is I think that there's a faster way to do that. There's a more frictionless way of getting content out that is simpler, and frankly, I was the one that wanted to do more and more and load up our applications with stuff. But I think that we're finding that only appeals to the most engaged consumers. If you want to create a massier proposition, you have to create a much more lightweight, simpler experience around your magazine content.
Good lesson. Good lesson. Well, Josh, thank you so much for
pleasure.
being here. Really, really interesting. Thank you.
My pleasure.